The seed of Ahmadiyyat, once a humble one, has blossomed into a majestic tree over the span of a century. By the grace of God, it has transformed into a garden adorned with the most exquisite of flowers.
Over a century ago, Hazrat Maulvi Abdul Rahim Nayyar Sahab set forth from Great Britain on 9 February 1921 and arrived on the coast of Saltspond on 28 February 1921. At around 4:30 p.m., a ship docked on the shores of Saltspond. This ship was carrying a devoted soldier and defender of Islam who had arrived in a completely unknown territory. Hazrat Maulvi Abdul Rahim Nayyar Sahab walked on these very shores. Unbeknownst to the people of Saltspond, this charismatic and pious soul carried with him the divine light of the promised Messiah and Imam Mahdi.
These 100 years of Ahmadiyyat in Ghana are a testament to the countless miracles, divine intervention, and heavenly assistance. The sunrise on this land bears witness that over the last century, nothing and no one can hinder the works of Allah.
As this humble servant of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam embarked on his journey, a profoundly moving incident unfolded. On the very day Maulvi Abdul Rahim Nayyar stepped foot on the soil of Ghana, that very same day, Chief Mahdi Appa was graced with the holy presence of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in his dream, marking a journey of spiritual revolution for the people of Ghana.
The journey towards Ahmadiyyat continued with a dream experienced by a Muslim man called Yusuf Nyako from Mankasim. In his dream, he saw himself praying with a few locals behind a white imam. The significance of this dream was not lost to Chief Mahdi Appa. After investigations and thorough toil, they found a Nigerian, Abdul Rahman Padro, who told them of white men who were Muslims. These locals contacted Qadian and requested for an imam. Despite financial constraints, the sincere Muslims of Ghana, driven by their unwavering faith, raised 300 pounds by selling their property and harvest. This amount was sent to Qadian, and they anxiously now awaited the arrival of a missionary.
There was a long silence after they sent money to Qadian. Correspondence in those days were a challenge. So eventually, people began to lose hope.
After a century, the places this courageous soldier of Islam ventured have become landmarks. Akrofo was the place where Abdul Rahim Nayyar Sahib was welcomed, and Mankasim was the site where it was decided that an Ahmadi missionary should be invited.
When Maulvi Nayyar arrived at Saltspond and was taken to Akrofo, he eventually had to return back to Saltspond because Saltspond back in the day was the center of activity because of the port that was here. So Maulvi Nayyar came back and lived in a rented house which served as his mission house. And this was where he served as a missionary. This is where he conducted his missionary activities during his stay in Ghana. So historically, this is the first mission house of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community in Ghana.
J. Fisher wrote a book titled Ahmadiyya, a study in contemporary Islam on the West African coast. It is expected that a work of research should be unbiased. However, he makes a statement in this book. People would not have followed Nayyar if they had understood the tenets of his faith completely.
60 years later, we are in Mankasim, where people not only understand, but are trained to convey the faith that Maulvi Abdul Rahim Nayyar Sahab came to teach.
अल्लाह ताला ने कुरान करीम में तख्लीक इंसान का मज़मून अपनी सिफ़त रहमानियत के साथ जोड़ दिया है।
कुरान करीम की बयान करदा हकीकी तालीमात, इसके अक़ाइद, इसके अग़राज़ व मक़ासिद वगैरह को पेश किया जाएगा।
How beautiful it is to see that with time, prejudices and bias can be laid bare, even if they were wrapped in academic diction and style. Ekumfi Krofo serves as the nurturing ground for Jamiatul Mubashirin, where Mankasim serves as the esteemed home of Jamia Ahmadiyya International. And the initiative started by Maulvi Abdul Rahim Nayyar Sahib produced fruit from these blessed institutions where dedicated men serve the cause of Islam throughout the continent of Africa and the whole world, fulfilling the prophecy of the promised Messiah wasalam, that मैं तेरी तबलीग को ज़मीन के किनारों तक पहुंचाऊंगा, that I shall cause thy message to reach the corners of the earth.
Much like the celestial stars that sacrifice themselves to radiate light for all, this star of Ahmadiyyat, true to his name, selflessly dedicated everything to illuminate the hearts and minds of the people of our nation.
Nayyar, meaning a bright star, encapsulated his luminous presence. Once, sitting under the night sky of the Saltpond shores, Maulvi Nayyar had a poetic conversation, a profound conversation with the stars, in which he captured in these two poetic lines: "Tum bhi ho tare, hum bhi hain tare. Tum ho asman ke, hum hain zameen ke."
In June 1921, Hazrat Abdul Rahim Nayyar radiyallahu an wrote a letter that was published in Al-Fazl. I have 4 important tasks before me: to establish 3 high schools for secondary education in Sierra Leone, the Gold Coast and Nigeria, and to open primary schools in each place, to train and produce muballighin in the local languages, to reform the present imams and muallimeen, to establish a Darut Tabligh, a mission house in the capital. A century later, the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, guided by the Divine Khalifa, has not only fulfilled but surpassed these objectives in ways that transcend human imagination and definitely the scope of a mere documentary. Gone were the times when 3 schools were required in Sierra Leone, Gold Coast and Nigeria each. Today, Ghana alone has over 400 schools that are run by the mission, in addition to a teachers training college. The second task aimed at training and producing muballighin has been materialized by the establishment of Jamiatul Mubashirin and Jamia International, which represents students from over 60 countries worldwide. From the companions of the promised Messiah alayhi salam to the sincere and dedicated missionaries, this land has seen the blessings of Allah descend therein. However, the gem in the diamond, the cornerstone of this beautiful community, was being awaited by every Ahmadi in Ghana. This moment came on the 18th of April 1970, when Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Thalith rahimahullah visited Ghana and blessed the soil of the country with his presence. A journalist asked Hazur on this occasion, "How would you convey the message of Islam to the African people?" Hazur replied, "We will win the hearts of the people." The land of Ghana has also been blessed with the visit of Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Rabi rahimahullah. One interesting fact is, a member from the family of the promised Messiah alayhi salam, who was witnessed for great and lofty status, also stayed and served the people of this nation for 8 years. He served in places of this country which are still rural areas, far from the amenities of life. He lived here when there were no hospitals, roads, and neither running water. Destiny had plans for him to return to Ghana, this time not to grow vegetation or teach in schools, rather to spiritually illuminate this country with his spiritual gown of Khilafat. Hazrat Sahibzada Mirza Masroor Ahmad Ayyadahullahu Ta'ala bin Nasrul Aziz visited Ghana for the first time as Khalifa in 2004 and the second time in 2008. The centenary celebrations on the establishment of Ahmadiyyat in Ghana stands as a miraculous testament to Allah's unwavering support for the mission of the promised Messiah alayhi salam. In the face of the opponents who dismissed the notion that the Messiah's message would not transcend the borders of Punjab, Ghana has become a living canvas where prophecy after prophecy of this Messiah unfolds before our own eyes. Here, we witness not mere coincidences, but divine fulfillment, with hundreds of thousands fervently dedicating themselves to the cause of Islam, Ahmadiyyat. The profound blessings bestowed by the institution of Khilafat have poured down upon Ghana, and the centenary celebration unequivocally attests that those who devoted themselves to Khilafat, even when separated by thousands of kilometers from the physical presence of the Khalifa, were infused with life. The sacred mission initiated by the promised Messiah will march forward under the auspices of Khilafat in the coming century. May we, along with our generations to follow, firmly grasp onto the divine rope of Allah, anticipating the abundant descent of blessings and triumph in the centuries to come.
अब तो थोड़े रह गए दज्जाल कहलाने के दिन।